Hey guys, Woods Farm here, Project 222, just back out in the garage working on the Scout car. Today we're going to be working on that roof, continuing to try to get that finished. The back section with the grate, we got to work on that, so stick around and check it out. Okay guys, we're back out in the shop. I want to start working on the roof today. Try to finish the top section of the roof so I can start patterning out the turret. Basically all that's left is the very back portion, the grate section and the little part that covers the engine. So we're going to get around to that. Also, I haven't got much work done on the car in the last week. I have been out and about scavenging for parts. So I'll take you over and show you some of the parts we've picked up and what they're going to be used for, and then we'll start working on the back roof. Okay, so last week made a couple of trips out to one of the local junkyards. We're starting to think ahead to working on the turret. We need a way to rotate and traverse the turret, and also to elevate the MG34 and the 20 millimeter. I had a couple of different ideas of how to do the traverse. What we're going to do is we're going to use a bearing as the hub for the pintle, and we're also going to use a sprocket and a chain system to actually rotate. So I actually have some of those parts out at a machine shop. The bearing hub and the large sprocket, I don't have them with me. They're at the local machine shop. The guy down there is doing some work on them to make them work together. But what I do have and I can show you is I picked up this piece off of an old hay baler, and we're going to use this has corresponding gear, which I still have to take this apart, but you can see it locks up. And this is what we're going to use to control the elevation of the two guns. And another thing I picked up was some chain, heavy duty. I think this is like size 50 chain that goes with the sprockets. Really expensive. I priced this out. It's about $150 for 10 feet. This was only 20 bucks at the scrapyard. I think all in all, the sprockets, the gears, all that only cost me 50 bucks. So it was a pretty good deal. Another thing I sourced at the scrapyard were some heavy-duty tow hooks. These came off of a 3/4 ton truck. I've got 4 of them, 2 for the front, 2 for the back. These aren't obviously perfect copies of the originals, but I think I'm going to modify them slightly and they will serve the function. And they only cost, I think it was 20 bucks for all 4. So pretty good deal. Also started to source some parts from various retail places like Amazon. Again, starting to think ahead for the turret. I've got some roller bearings here. These are going to help support the turret, and they're going to get mounted on the roof. I've got some other components that are for the turret traverse mechanism. So another sprocket for the inside part of the gear, where the hand wheel is attached and it controls. I'm starting to collect things like bearings. Here's a 3/4 inch bearing. This is all part of the mechanism for the traverse. Various other odds and ends, chain link, bearing retainers, some smaller bearings. So I've got some other parts that I got from the junkyard that are for the chain drive mechanism. This is like a tensioner or an idler that we're going to use. So we're starting to get all these parts put together. So hopefully when it comes time to actually fabricate, design the turret, we'll have everything we need on hand. One of the things you have to consider when you're out scavenging for parts is what you save in money, you actually pay for in time. It takes time to go out and look for this stuff and to source it. It can be a lot quicker to just buy the stuff. But if you're on a budget like we are, sometimes it pays off to go and search for the stuff try to get it on like Facebook Marketplace or go to the local junkyard and get what you need, and sometimes you can save a lot of money. Another thing to consider is when you're looking for parts in general for a project like this, sometimes you spend a lot of time on Google, on the internet, just, searching things, looking, trying to source stuff, spend a lot of time on Amazon sourcing parts. So that's part of the project. It's part of the process. The last couple of weeks, I've been hours and hours online trying to find stuff for the turret. Trying to think ahead and make sure we have everything on hand. So you got to kind of think about what the project's going to need and get on the internet, search, find what you need, order it, wait for it to show up. So it's a good idea to always be trying to think a few steps ahead so you have what you need on hand when you start doing the work. Okay, we've got that top deck plate that covers the engine completed. You can see that it bolts down. That's so you can remove the plate at a later time to gain access to the radiator and the engine for servicing and maintenance. We're now going to move on to the section of ring that makes up the turret ring towards the back of the crew compartment and the support. That's going to make the kind of foundation for that mesh that covers that rear area of the crew compartment. Okay, now that that ring that makes up the back part of the turret and the support for the mesh are installed, we're going to go ahead and pattern out the mesh, get it cut. It's going to be done in 2 pieces, and then we're going to install it in the vehicle. So let's go over and get started. Okay guys, I'm going to wrap this video up here. We've got the roof done, including that mesh section at the back of the crew compartment. Really happy with the way it turned out. The mesh isn't an exact match to what the original had, but it does look pretty good in my opinion. I think we may go back to that later and do something a little better, but for now, using that expanded metal was the cheapest and easiest solution. Now that the roof is completed, we can go on to the more exciting stuff, which is going to be patterning out the turret. I have to start with kind of the base of the turret, and then the side panels will get patterned off of that. So we're going to be working on that in the upcoming videos. Also, we're going to be starting a lot of mechanical stuff, the mechanism to traverse and move the turret and elevate the gun carriage. We're going to be working on that. And I also have another video series that I started on the propane gas machine gun simulators that we're going to use for the 8mm and the 20mm in the vehicle. So I've started a separate series on that. So a lot of work is getting done in the shop right now, and we're really hoping to have the vehicle done sometime this summer. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. And as always, thanks for watching.